is Miss Jennifer Eisler,
Yep.
and she is the marketing director for Right at Home Healthcare. And she's here today to share with you about her services and the programs that they have that she will share with the community as well as the veterans community. So, Ms. Jennifer, it's nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, pretty good, pretty good. So tell me, since you're the marketing director, what it is you do?
Sure, of course. I'm happy. Thank you for having me for Veterans Corner and to help educate the community. So Right at Home provides one-on-one in-home care and assistance to veterans or to adults. We can assist with non-medical tasks. So we're different than home health. Home health will come in and do physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing. Right at Home does non-medical assistance. So things like safety supervision, bathing, toileting, medication reminders. A lot of people call us to assist with light housekeeping and laundry, as well as preparing meals. Some people also need us for transportation services.
Okay, since you do all of that, what is the main thing that you really do focus on when you're talking about in-care?
In-home care. Well, and I do want to clarify, even though it's called in-home care, it's wherever home might be.
Okay.
So sometimes home could be in an assisted living facility, or it could be a hospital stay.
Okay.
So I would say the call that we get the most is when I have seniors that are falling,
Okay.
and they need help with safety supervision. And then also, I would say dementia and cognitive impairment is a call we get a lot. People needing
I guess so.
assistance,
Yes,
one-on-one if they need help
Well,
with their
with the-
daily activities.
Yeah, well, with the dementia side, you're working with someone who's dealing with memory loss.
That's right.
And in dealing with them, do you have sometimes a struggle in dealing with them?
Absolutely. Because sometimes, well, not sometimes, every time, if somebody is like in the early stages of Alzheimer's or a type of dementia, they still want to feel independent, right? And they don't
Yes.
want to give up their freedom or their control of their daily life. So I like to reassure the client that we're there to help them have a higher quality of life, not to come in and just take over. So that's part of my job too, is I'll go in and assess and meet with the person needing care, as well as if any family members want to be
Right.
involved. And so we put together an individualized care plan. Everybody's care plan is as unique as the person. Some people just need us a little bit every day to help with, meals and safety. And then we may have some people that need us every day around the clock. It just depends on where that person is.
Situation
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. In dealing with the dementia side, since I'm a little bit familiar with it because my own parents,
Oh,
they dealt with it, and they were having trouble sometimes recognizing any of us, the
right.
kids.
That's tough.
And in dealing with them at that stage, having them to feel secure
Right.
being in that position,
Yes.
dealing with people that they don't recognize,
Right.
I'm sure that's an obstacle, a barrier you have to cross.
That's a good point. That's one of the reasons at Right at Home we try to have a lockdown staff member so that dementia client feels at least familiar with my caregiver
Okay.
that's coming in, and my caregiver knows, oh, Mr. Smith, he doesn't like, when somebody touches him on the right side, or he doesn't like somebody, preparing this sort of meal. So it's a two-way street. We want my caregiver to be as comfortable and as familiar with the client as the client is with my staff member.
Then I'm assuming that would be a lot easier if the client would have the same caregiver,
Absolutely.
because if you get different caregivers, it's like
It's
starting
extra.
all over. again. Yes.
You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah. What about the process for submitting, or rather getting the information from them to set them up with the home care. What type
Right.
of steps
Like
you have to-
steps.
Yeah.
So, no, first of all, our industry in home care is out of pocket, typically an out of pocket private pay industry. Medicare and regular health insurance unfortunately does not cover what some people call sitter care.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I get. People are confused. They'll call me thinking that Blue Cross Blue Shield or TRICARE will cover our services, and unfortunately, that's not the case. And that's with any in-home care agency. Now, the exception is if someone is a veteran, and we can also talk about that as well. Whether somebody's a veteran or a private pay client, the onboarding process is the same.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like to be a client for Right at Home. The first thing that happens is you reach out to Right at Home or me, and I come and I do like an info visit, answer any questions, start that assessment process, start that individualized care plan. The next step is we email an onboarding packet.
Okay.
And it's like a DocuSign, very straightforward, easy to navigate. You fill that out, send that back in. The third and last step is we have a full-time nurse on staff. She is amazing. She's super hands-on with my veterans.
Okay.
She goes in and she does her assessment, which includes, she wants a list of medications. She does a safety assessment of the home. She will see the client move around. Some people have, limitations with their mobility. And then, so she's the last step of my assessment. And between the nurse and myself, we get together, we finish that assessment process, put all of it in the computer. And then when the family or the client says, okay, now I want to start services, I want to use a Right at Home caregiver every day from 7 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
We put that in the computer, and then that's when we lock down staff, and then we do a meet and greet. We bring somebody from the office to introduce that
Okay.
caregiver
Okay.
to the client, because it's, it may feel funny,
Well-
having somebody come in for the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time and helping.
Well, when it comes down to the veteran,
Yes.
okay, I do know that they have a caregivers program through the VA.
That's right.
Is it much easier going through them that way to get services for the veteran?
It's a wonderful program for veterans. Okay, there's the aid and attendance, which is a pension. That's a whole different program versus the home and community-based program, which is where I get a lot of veteran participation. So you just have to be in the VA healthcare system, which means you maybe go to that wonderful clinic here
Yeah.
in Lafayette,
Yes.
and then you talk to your VA social worker, and you tell them that you would like to use Right at Home as your provider for that home and community-based program, and they do an assessment on the veteran. And the social worker, they know what questions to ask. They look at mobility, they look at how much help the veteran needs, and they look at service-related disability as well.
Okay.
And that's how they come up with how many hours the veteran qualifies for.
Okay. Now, before you serve the veteran, do you have to get certified by the VA, like a certification by the VA letter that
Right.
you receive? Once you receive the letter, they basically approve it.
Right.
And then you can see, but you cannot go just start working with the veteran without that certificate, though.
For the home and community-based program, if if a veteran qualifies for in-home care, we, Right at Home, will receive an authorization form that
Okay.
is usually done like via the computer. And I have a dedicated person here at the office that works with the VA.
Okay.
And so when she gets an authorization form, she sends a message to me and my nurse saying, Mr. Gregory is qualified for 20 hours through the VA. Then we reach out to the veteran and we onboard the veteran just like a private pay client.
Yeah.
We go in, we assess them, we let them pick their schedule, how they want to use the hours, and it can vary anywhere from, I have veterans with 9 hours a week all the way to 56 hours a week.
Okay, because the reason why I'm saying that is because I do know with the community care certification, they usually offer it like either a 3-month or 6-month increments. And if for some reason you go over that 6-month increment without knowing about it,
Yeah.
whatever services you offer, the veteran has to pay for it.
Oh, I was unaware. Like when we get, we
Within a
stay
certain
with
time
it.
frame.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, if you go right, say like a week before or 2 weeks before, and you tell community care to extend it,
Right.
as long as you let them know, most of the time they will extend it.
Right.
But if for some reason that does not happen, and services are provided to the veteran, then the VA will say, or rather community care will say, it's not covered. That day of service,
Right.
the veteran would be responsible for that.
Right.
So I'm just saying, to make
Yeah.
sure the veteran understands that you have to make sure that community care, you get a letter,
Yes.
and the veteran gets a letter. So it behooves the veteran to be the advocate for himself,
Sure.
to maintain that time,
Right.
that
Right.
time frame. And if not, shame on him. Because
Yeah.
the reason why I'm saying it, because it happened to me.
Oh, really?
I think I was covered, and the VA came back and said, no, you're not covered. You got to pay for the bill.
Oh, dear.
Because they did not approve it.
Oh.
But then again, I contacted my primary care. They sent it in. They approved it for
Okay.
the next 3 or
Right.
6 months. So that's that the veteran, just letting the veteran be aware
Yeah.
of the fact, be your self-advocate to
That's
make
true.
sure you maintain
Right.
that parameter. you know.
Right.
So, but you guys do a wonderful job. I mean, going through all the steps you take.
Yes. We try to give as high quality a care as possible.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what, from what I know, you guys do. There's something else too. I'm sure you get referrals from a lot of doctors.
We do, from doctors, from home health, from hospice, from case managers at the hospital. I have assisted living facilities that call me.
Well, it makes it a little bit easier if a facility refers them to you. And I would tell a veteran, if you want to come to home care, tell the physician, your primary physician, or the facilities that you want to go here and
Yes.
have them refer you
Right.
to you,
Yes.
and it makes it a little bit easier
Yeah.
for the VA to
Sure.
rather than you just want to come and be a part of the services that
Right.
you offer.
But I will say this, Mr. Gregg, I am happy to help advocate or walk those veterans through the steps. I can't do it for them, clearly.
right.
But I do have, like, this, I feel like is like the best brochure ever. It literally has, like, the steps that the veteran and the wording they need to use to help at least get going in that right direction for that home and community-based program.
Yeah.
So,
Well, with the when you said the right wording, I'm sorry to say, but when you're dealing with the VA, it's the wording
yeah,
is very important. It's how
Sure.
you do things. You have to talk their language.
Right.
And that normal citizen or veteran, we don't talk that language.
right,
And a lot of times we may get online and apply for services, and the person who reviews it on the VA side doesn't
Rejects it,
understand
yeah.
it and just rejects it.
you're right.
So you have to get involved with at least a VSO or someone in your capacity to help you guys out
Sure,
to make sure you get the right wording and
That's-
everything else, because in today's times, it's very difficult for veterans because we have a lot of barriers and obstacles
yeah,
that's above what the normal citizens
you're
Or-
correct.
have. And all I can say is the best advocate is you yourself.
That's true.
To stay on top of things and to constantly stay in touch with you or the facilities here
Right.
to let them know exactly what's going on with them.
Yes.
So they can always change the format or change the program to fit them or whatever.
That's right.
But the main thing though is that for you guys to know that there's someone out here who wants to be in a position to help
Absolutely.
veterans, and as far as I know, you guys are doing it, okay?
Yes.
I'm just hoping that in the future, this will continue because a lot of things are changing at the VA, and
Funding.
every day is different, and you really don't know what's going on. And that's the only one thing I have critical to say about that is because VA changes things, but by the time it trickles down to the veteran, it's too late.
Right,
Either they shut the case down or shut the program down,
right.
like they did with this one program, for the home program, for reoccurring veterans who are having difficulty in their home, staying in their home for foreclosure. The VA put a program out there to help veterans stay in their home.
Nice.
And after a while, this year they closed it down after a year later.
Oh, no.
So there are a lot of veterans are caught.
Yeah.
Those who are in the program, they're in the program. But those who are outside the program, now they're on their own again.
Right.
You know, so the more veterans know, the lack of information is what the significant disadvantage to
Knowledge is power, right?
veterans. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And for what you guys are offering, you guys need to know
Sure.
what you guys are offering. So how would you want to wrap this up as far as?
I would say that it's key to go to the VA clinic and to be in the healthcare system and to, like you said, advocate for yourself. And if there's some memory issues or cognitive decline, hopefully you have a family member that can advocate for you. And if you ever need one-on-one assistance to stay independent and safe, then I think it's smart to look into the home and community-based program. And sometimes I do recommend, even before the veterans really need it, I say need it, that they at least explore and learn about it beforehand, right? Because sometimes I get people calling that needed it a long time ago, and then they're stressed out, right? So I would say to definitely.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. That happens, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I got you all choked up, huh?
Just human. That's all it is.
So, and then if you need more information, call Right at Home directly, 337-806-9171, and ask to speak to Jennifer. I'm happy to educate in any way. Even if this may not be the program, I will direct you in whatever direction I can help.
Now, if a veteran wants to come to you, if they're in a health issue, would you help them with transportation? I'm just asking.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, now, if they wanted to utilize us outside of the VA benefit, if that's your question, of course, of course. And so we would just onboard them as a private pay client and find out what they needed from us.
Okay. If
Yes.
you did that, went to you first, made a little payment to you, whatever, and then go into the system
Yes.
and have them provide,
Look,
the VA to provide
I
for
get
them.
that happen all the time. Like, I have people call me wanting to utilize us privately, private pay. My first question to everybody is, are you a veteran? And if they are, then the first thing I try to do is see if we can get them on this home and community-based program.
Right.
Even if they can afford to use us out-of-pocket private pay, I
Right.
still feel like if they've deserved this benefit, they need this benefit. And if you have any service-related disability, the chance of getting this benefit is quite high, and the hours sometimes will go up based off of service-related disability.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sorry to say that this interview is coming to an end with all my coughs and all.
That's okay.
But I want to thank Jennifer for being with us today to share the information that you're doing. I know you guys are
you.
doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for veterans and just educating them.
Yes, yes. And hopefully you'll come back in the future.
Yes.
And maybe we could have another program
I would love it.
to let you know what's going on with the veteran community, and
Right.
the veteran community know what you're doing,
Yes.
what you guys are doing. So thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing the information. And all I can say, guys, God bless America. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you.